Hello and welcome, you crazy people. My name is Jay, and today we're going to be talking about the monthly update from New World. Now, they go into details on a few things, and I won't be going into all the details, but there's three main takeaways for me. There might be more depending on your point of view. That is the improvements to crafting, which is what the main subject is about. Then it's the change from going from 3 weapons to 2, which I think is very impactful. And also, there is a new weapon, the rapier, which I think is going to be very, very interesting indeed. So we'll quickly go through it. If you know the game very well, this video may not be for you. I would recommend Sir Medieval. I'll put a link to his video. Like, he's been playing the alpha and stuff like that and knows all the stuff where I really haven't. So there you have it. Let's just go through what we've got on the screen. We'll go through. I'm not cutting off anything interesting, but we'll just go through the main thing here. So they start off with the new weapon, which is the rapier. It talks about how it's good for counter attacking and stuff like that. It uses dexterity, which I think is there any other weapon that does? I'm not sure. There might be one, but they also talk about how there's a legendary rapier you can get if you follow the quest. And I mean, look how dapper. Look how dapper that is. That is suave. I really like it. It's just cool. And yeah, so there's a few different, well, let's say a few. There's a couple of different things to look at there. But yeah, like really, the rapier is going to be a fancy, like swashbuckling kind of weapon. I'm very excited to actually get my hands on that in the next preview, whenever that actually does come out. Then we've got these changes to crafting. To summarize, I guess the change to crafting is that they're trying to make it relevant from all points of the game, not just like at the start, but also at the very end game as well. To that extent, they are adding stuff like you can craft named items, which are sort of like specific items that are good, if that makes sense. It's like being able to, I guess in World of Warcraft, all the things are named, whereas in this you would like get a generic axe or whatever, and then now you're going to be able to get like the I don't know how you say that, Orichalcum? Great axe, whatever it is. So that's interesting. Also, another thing to add here is that there's going to be quality of ingredients, and you're going to be able to add like good quality ingredients. And there's a thing called Azoth, which basically you can spend more to get better quality. So what I hope that's going to work like, as a basic person who's not really played too much, a basic person is not what I meant, but you know what I mean, with basic knowledge, I hope that means like if you just want to level up, you can probably just put like the minimum amount of ingredients. But if you're trying to craft something for you, then maybe you want to like put in the best quality ingredients with the best high amounts of Azoth. All the skills have been capped at 200. And yeah, so there's now new different types of recipes. There's the artifact one, which means it's like a one use. Basically, you get to craft it once, and then you get the recipe schematic, which means you can like craft it for a long time. There's more named armor pieces and stuff like that, which I guess is good. It gives like they've got like story to them, and they're like more treasured items. That's cool. There's an update to repairing, but I don't really know what the problem was there. Food has changed. It looked like when I was watching the previews at high levels that they were using food in combat. It seems like they're going to have buff food, which is going to help you in combat, and healing food, which helps you after combat. But if the buff food you don't use it during combat, you use it to plan for the combat. And I think they're going to add more like potions and stuff like that to really make up for the lack of using that in combat. The elite enemy system, apparently there's going to be like special elites, and they're going to have larger enemies are going to have larger hitboxes, which is good. The AI looks like it's getting an improvement, like it feels like it's going to replicate more of the actual player method of playing. So they're going to have like cooldowns and stuff like that, more appropriate to what you would expect if you're against players. That just makes the world feel a bit more real, like your enemies aren't doing anything crazy. So that's good. Some combat system stuff there. I like the sound of this one. I never even noticed it because I'd never played a ranged character. Players can now move during ranged attack animations. Good. I guess that's just to make it all feel smooth. They're all generally here just to make the game feel better for everybody involved. Like, not getting locked into animations while you're playing a ranged character just feels like it might be more enjoyable. And some balance changes, which I can't really comment on the balance. Now, this UI change really reminds me of the Ashes of Creation node system, which I think is pretty positive. It's during questing and progression, it's called, but the settlements, they'll start off as like a basic crafting station, and it just sort of works its way up to become like a more quality visual. I don't know if that has an in-game effect. Somebody will probably comment, but I really like that. It looks like quite a lot of the towns and places have actually like changed and become more like more unique. Like, look at that. That looks like a nice little. I mean, it reminds me of that shape layout reminds me of Booty Bay from World of Warcraft, but like obviously visually much better. So yeah, I'm optimistic about the visuals of the game for sure. There's been some improvements to quests. I don't really know too much about that. This group play bit is a little bit interesting. Basically, the way that it was working is that if you hit it once, you got full XP and you got credit for it. Now, if you're in a group, your group has to do 15%. The XP is going to be shared through between everybody, which is interesting because it sort of sounds like that might stop the zerging. Everybody was just getting in big groups, following each other and zerging everything because you got full XP. So people will probably like branch off and not do that. Some stuff is coming for factions and territories. Sounds really interesting. And yeah, there's some pictures there, but I won't necessarily go through them and I won't necessarily dwell on it. It's hard for me, somebody who never really, I didn't even play the preview that much because I'm never, I'm a dad, I'm a working dad, that classic line. Not a single working dad. My wife, does most of the work. But I don't really want to be playing a game, putting a lot of effort into learning a game, only for all my progress to get squashed. Like, that'll probably put me off actually playing the game when it comes live. So I'm probably not going to play this until it's properly live. But yeah, like, so I've not been following the details. Some people know all the detail, all the weapons, all the skill trees and stuff like that, and that's not me. So I'm probably going to look at this from like beginner point of views, but I will probably keep track of these monthly updates because they are interesting. The fact that we're getting monthly updates and they're at this kind of level, I think the game might be out in the next 6 months, but I could very easily not be. And they are still making sweeping changes to like some of the towns and regions and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see. Either way, I'm very excited about the game, as I mentioned in one of my other videos, and we'll have to wait and see how it goes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.